the south of Germany, in the foothills of the Allgäu Alps. And this is Kempten, the biggest city in the Allgäu region. But around here, big is relative. It's only home to about 70,000 people, despite the fact that it was first settled over 2 centuries ago. I thought I'd take a guided tour to find out more about it. Of course, we're not only checking out Kempten. I want to try biathlon, a combination of cross-country skiing and rifle shooting, and learn how to prepare a classic regional dish. Hello, are you my guide?
Grüß Gott.
Grüß Gott. Lovely weather we're having.
Ja, meine Damen und Herren.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ich
I'd
möchte Sie
like
alle
to
sehr
welcome you
herzlich
to
zu
our wintry
einer
tour of
winterlichen
Kempten.
Stadtführung in Kempten begrüßen. In einer Nische
Bettina Löffler kicks off our tour in front of the town hall. It's a landmark of
in der
Kempten
linken
and
Hand die
dates
Waage
from the
der
14th
Gerechtigkeit
century.
Und in der rechten Hand das Richtschwert für die
But Kempten is a lot older than that. 2,000 years ago, the city was called Cambodunum.
In dieser Richtung müssen
Try to
wir
imagine
uns Cambodunum
Cambodunum
vorstellen.
just over
Das ist
there.
die römische Stadt,
The Roman
die
outpost was
jenseits
situated
der
on the
Iller
other side of the Iller
liegt,
River
und zwar
and 33 meters
33
above
Meter hoch
it.
über der Iller.
In 15 BC, the Romans arrived at the river. History informs us that they found a Celtic settlement with the same name here. This is why Kempten claims to be Germany's oldest city, but there's no definitive evidence for that. Centuries later, during the Reformation, Kempten was a divided city. There was a Catholic and a Protestant part. The Church of St. Mang was once the Protestant heart of Kempten and is the oldest place of worship in town.
Die Gottesdienste
Services
fanden
were
vom
focused in the
Zentrum
middle of
aus
the
statt.
church.
Also bis vor gut
Until
10
around 10
Jahren
years ago,
waren
the
Kanzel,
pulpit, baptismal
Taufbecken
font
und
and the
Altar
altar
in der
were in
Mitte
the centre
dieser
of the church.
Kirche. Das ist dann wieder
Then it was all
gen
moved to the
Osten
east side.
umgewandelt worden.
Imagine
Und
having to
die
turn your head
Vorstellung,
like
dass
this for
Sie
half an hour to hear
jetzt
the minister.
ungefähr eine halbe Stunde
was
dem Herrn Pfarrer so
unbearable.
lauschen müssen und sich umdrehen müssen, das war ja unzumutbar.
That's why these adjustable benches were built. Just flip the backrest and voila! You have a perfect view of the pulpit. Pretty practical, don't you think? We continue to the former Catholic part of town with the Basilica of St. Lawrence and the representative residence of the Duke Abbots.
Dieser Stadtführung angeschlossen haben.
And it's also where our tour of Kempten ends.
Komm mal nach Kempten wieder.
Gerne. If you have plans to visit the Allgäu, it's best to fly to Munich and rent a car. Not only will you be able to get from one place to the next, you will be treated to spectacular nature at every turn. I've arrived at my next stop, Nesselwang. Here I'm going to rent the equipment I need for my next endeavor, an introduction to the biathlon. My instructor for the day is Walter Fricke.
Okay, dann
Okay, let's
los
go.
geht's.
You're probably a bit
Du bist
faster than
wahrscheinlich ein
me.
bisschen schneller.
Du
als
läufst
ich.
das
You ski the
und ich
traditional
lauf
way and I'll
Skating.
skate.
Okay, das heißt,
So, I
wir
guess
sehen
I'll
uns
see
da
you
in
in
einer
half
halben
an hour.
Stunde.
Sounds good.
Genau.
So,
Ah, so,
right,
rechts.
Jawohl.
left. The biathlon is extremely popular in Germany, or at least lots of people like to watch the competitions on TV.
Wo kommt denn der
How
Biathlon
did the
eigentlich
biathlon
her? Wer hat sich
originate?
das
Who came up with the
ausgedacht, dass
idea
man
of
ja
putting
eigentlich
cross-country
Langlaufen und
skiing
Schießen
and rifle
mal
shooting
verbinden
together?
könnte?
Gut, ursprünglich in den
Cross-country
skandinavischen Ländern
skiing
wurde
has
immer
always
schon
been
viel Langlauf
popular in
gemacht.
Scandinavia,
Und dann eben auch
even
mit
for
der Jagd
hunting
mit
with a
dem
weapon.
Gewehr.
That's how
Da
the
ist
idea was
eigentlich die
born.
Idee schon geboren. Gut, Biathlon macht
In
man
Germany,
eigentlich,
most biathletes are in the military. That means they train under professional conditions. The biathlon isn't really a recreational sport, but here in Nesselwang, those who are curious can give it a try.
Gut, zeige ich mal.
Good, here's what you do.
Kniet sich
Kneel
hin,
down, lay your
legen einfach
poles
die
to the
Becken
side.
seitlich ab.
As you can see, there's
Und dann
already a
haben wir
bit
jetzt
of
hier schon
snow
ein
on
bisschen
our
Schnee auf der
weapon.
Waffe. Okay.
The skiing really gets your heart pumping. That makes it difficult to hold the rifle steady and hit the targets 50 meters away.
Einfach
Aufs
hinkriegen.
Knie.
Super.
Stöcker weg. Hier
Pull
zurück.
back, push
Ah,
in.
hier ran.
How long
Passt,
does
ja.
it take
Was
pros
für
to
eine
do
Zeit macht
this?
das ein Profi?
Klack, klack.
Click clack.
Das
It
geht dann
goes really
schnell.
quick.
Naja.
Well,
Okay.
practice makes perfect.
So ist es. Hey.
Hey. Nope.
Nochmal.
Again.
Sag mal. Nein.
Nein.
No.
Dadurch schon.
Look through here.
Da.
There?
Ich denke mir, das
I've
kann doch
been
nicht
using the
sein.
wrong one.
Nein, nein.
No,
nein,
here,
das
through
macht
this
keinen
little
Schwachsinn.
hole.
Mal gucken.
Look.
Ich denke mir doch gerade.
Now you
Jetzt,
got it.
jetzt, oder?
Much
Jetzt sieht
better.
es doch gleich besser aus. Ah,
Ja.
okay.
Jetzt.
Na,
Okay.
also.
Hit it. Now I'm ready for a little friendly
Vorschieben
competition.
und dann ist-
So anders ist es nicht. Auf die Plätze.
Ready,
Fertig.
set,
Los.
go.
Jawohl.
I'm gonna pass you.
Okay, Endspurt
Okay, the
und
final spurt.
geschafft.
And we made it.
Gratuliere.
Congratulations.
That made me hungry. So I'm really looking forward to my next stop, the Allgäu Cheese Making School in Lindenberg. Here you can learn how to make Kässpatzen.
Hallo.
Das ist ein ganz
The
einfaches
recipe is
Rezept
quite
eigentlich.
simple.
Wir nehmen
You take
2
2 eggs
Eier
per
pro
portion,
Person,
around
eine
150
Kelle Mehl,
grams
das
of
sind so um
flour,
die
and 100
150 Gramm
milliliters
und
of
100
water.
Milliliter Wasser.
Let's get cracking.
Also es ist schon so ein, ja,
It's kind of a
bisschen
poor man's meal.
arme Leute
In the
essen. Also
past,
früher hat
people
man
simply
natürlich
took leftover
dann,
cheese,
die
grated it,
Käsereste
and
genommen,
added
einfach
it to pancakes.
zusammengerieben
Another simple
und
dish.
unter einen einfachen, weil
Flour-based
Pfannkuchen ist ja auch ein
dishes used to be
einfaches Gericht,
staples,
also eine Mehlspeise
and they
gab's ja
just
früher
mixed
immer dann.
something with it.
Und dann hat man das halt drunter gemacht.
The noodle dough's finished. It's time to put it in hot, salty water.
Das Mittelmeer wäre
Not as
versalzen,
salty as
aber
the
in die Richtung
Mediterranean,
darf's
but in
schon
that
gehen.
general
Okay.
direction.
Dann haben wir unseren
Here we have our
Spätzlehobel.
Spätzle grater,
Kann aber auch eine
but you can also
Spätzlepresse
use a
nehmen.
press. You put it in
Setzen dies
here,
hier auf,
fill it with dough,
füllen den
and start
Teig rein
grating.
und hobeln dann gleich.
No sooner said than done. It's not so hard, and the noodles look just like they should. Cook them for a minute or two, remove from the water, and then add the
Ah, den hast du
cheese.
schon vorgemischt,
The
ne?
mixture should be tossed rather than stirred until the cheese is evenly distributed. Then top the noodles with fried onions and some mountain herbs, and we've got ourselves some delicious Bavarian soul food. Now for something completely different. I'm going to check out the Carriage Museum in Bad Hindelang. It's a labor of love for a passionate local collector, but at times you get the sense you're in a chamber of horrors. The museum exhibits a large variety of sleighs and carriages, fitted out with all sorts of paraphernalia. One of the museum's most valuable pieces is this Bohemian funeral carriage. The man behind the museum is Martin Weber. He's a local contractor who's traveled throughout Europe in search of items for his collection. The Carriage Museum might not be everyone's cup of tea, but there is no denying that a lot of dedication and imagination has gone into putting it together. What better way to end my visit to the Allgäu region than with a walk through the incredibly enchanting mountain landscape? This is where it ends, my little tour of the Allgäu. No matter if you're into winter sports or nature, whether you're a fan of time-honored traditions or quirky curiosities, between Kempten and Bad Hindelang, you'll find it all. Extremely worth a visit. See you next time, somewhere in Germany.